How's it going, everyone? Today is Saturday, which means it is park run day again, and this is actually going to be our first park run in Norway. We're heading to Oslo and we are doing the Tøyen Parkrun. Tøyen Parkrun is located towards the centre of Oslo and it is the closest to the city centre, and obviously it is located in Tøyen Parken. It's a 5-lapper actually, and it is mostly on hard standing. There's one little section at the top end which was on grass, but this is basically the summer course and the winter course. I don't really know whether they've got a winter course where they change it up, because most of it being hard standing, I doubt they'll ever change that, and if it's too icy they'll probably cancel it. So for that reason I would recommend road shoes. However, if you wear trail shoes you'll probably still be okay too. I'd say it's quite a hilly course because there are quite a few up and downs. It's more of like an undulating course, I'd probably describe it as. However, despite that, you can bring your dogs and buggies around with the run too. However, there are no toilets on site, so if you need a toilet, go beforehand. And it was also a very quiet run too, with under 100 people. There's exactly 99 people there on the day, so it's nice and quiet, so you're not going to get too cramped up on the paths. And therefore, if you're looking for quite a high finish position, this is going to be a decent one to go to. However, for some reason I think the Norwegians are very fit, so they get very quick times. But if you've got this far and you're still wondering what is a park run, it is essentially a 5k run ran by a group of volunteers. It is timed and marshalled, the event, and it is all completely free, so you get given your official time and official position at the end of the run. So let's take a look at a summary of the course then. It is a 5-lapper around Tøyen Park. It's sort of in a loop, and on each lap you're going to have to go up quite a steep hill and back down, with an elevation gain of 86 metres and max elevation of 53 metres. You can see in the top left all of the elevation, and it starts at the top of the hill but ends actually at the bottom of the hill where you can leave any belongings, etc. So let's take a look at this course in a bit more detail then. So you're going to start off here at the north side of Tøyen Park, make your way downhill around in a crescent shape, all on hard standing, before you reach the bottom side of the park. Then this bit is a slight incline with a fairly steep incline at a set of stairs which is on this bend. And once you do that, this is the only section with grass, so be careful not to slip here as it comes round, but it's all flat. And then you're going to come back onto hard standing, which is then all downhill up to the point where you get to this U-turn. However, you do need to be careful because there is quite a lot of sort of gravel and stones that they've put down to stop any ice from freezing on the course, so be careful there because it might be a little bit slippy on little bits of stones and pebbles. Then after the U-turn here, you're going to head your way down still to the western side, turn right so you're alongside the road, and head your way all the way back to the northern side. Now this is all a slight little incline as well, but once you get to the top end you're going to turn right. Now this is the steepest part of the course, steep hill all the way up to the top. Then you're going to come down, do all of that again another 4 times, but this time you don't have to do the hill on the final lap, because instead you're going to make your way forward onto just a little bit of a grassy patch at the end where you've hit the finish line. So that is the course, and now let's take a look at some incredible records which have been set at Tøyen Parkrun. So the fastest male was Magnus Warvik with a time of 15 minutes and 50 seconds, which is unbelievable, and the fastest female is Anne Aristad with a time of 18 minutes and 50 seconds. Again, very fast, with the average number of runners being quite a low one, like I said, less than 100. It is 87, and the average time is about 27:33, which is quite quick for an average time, to be fair. And now let's take a look at my stats then. So we have completed 20 park runs so far. This is going to be number 21, with our best finish position being at Zaloni Jar, where we got 4th place. And our top 5 park runs have been there a while now, with our fastest time being 22:32, which was done at Summerdale Pavilion, all the way down to our 5th fastest time, which is 5 Arches with a time of 23:25. And now what you have all been waiting for, let's get into the run then. So we're starting in 3, 2, 1. We are off and we are going. So here we go. Starting up at the top of the hill, you can see they were heading downhill, and you can see it's all hard standing paths, and it's not too congested. It is a little bit congested compared to some of the ones where it's a lot wider, the paths, but this one's quite a thin path, so you probably get 3 people alongside each other. But it's a quick start from everyone, and we're not behind our pace that we usually would be anyway, so not too bad. We're going to head off to the left hand side. Don't want to go right, otherwise you're off the course, but it is all downhill to begin with, and now we're going to start heading our way uphill towards that south section. So this bit is all a gentle incline, but be careful here because it then goes on to that gritty section which I was talking about. So they put lots of grit in Norway to stop the ice, like us using salt in the UK. They use grit and therefore it does make it a little bit, you can probably skid on it a little bit more on your shoes. But this is all uphill to begin with, heading in between these two houses here. And then up this section here is where it's quite a steep incline here, so there's some steps which you'll see on the left hand side, but you've got to push your way up that incline there. And then this bit is flat, so I'd probably say this is all the uphill section of the course. This is obviously the grass section as well. The ground was really hard, to be fair, on the day. No like mud or anything that you could slip over, hence why the road shoes was perfect for me, really. And then in a second you'll see we'll come back off of the grass section and back onto the hard standing, which it will be hard standing for the rest of the run. At this point it is all a very gentle decline. Be careful for the benches there on that right hand side as well. You don't want to clart into one of those and it knock you over onto the ground. But now we are going to head slightly, I think it's probably more flat, to be honest, this bit here, as we make our way towards that U-turn which we mentioned when we were looking through the detailed run. But you'll see in just a second, you can see people on the left hand side which are going downhill. So this is the bit where you need to be careful on this bend here, because it's still very gritty. On the day that you go, they might have got rid of most of the grit now because it's not snowing as much. But on the day that I went, it was quite gritty, so it's a little bit of a risk there of skidding over. And now this is quite a steep decline here, so you pick up a little bit of pace. And then be careful again here that you don't get taken out by the barrier. But then you turn right and you're heading onto a slight gentle incline towards the bottom of the steep hill. So this is the very gentle incline. It's probably a little bit of a decline just before you do hit the hill, but you can see some people on that right hand side who have already started going up. That is just how steep the hill is. If you did want to take like a jumper and stuff, because it's quite cold in the way, I left it at the bottom of this tree with a load of other people's there. Everyone leaves their stuff there, and then we all head up to the top as well. The sign's at the bottom just there too. So we're now going to head our way up to the top of Tøyen Park, pushing our way up this hill. It is quite a steep incline, so bearing in mind you're doing this 4 times on this first lap, do make sure to sort of pace yourself so you know that you're going to do this another 3 times, because it is a difficult hill, to be fair. Some people were pacing up and people would push chairs and stuff. I don't have a clue how they can get up this hill and still run such a good time, but we have made our way, struggled up to the top. Calves are burning, quads are dying, and then we're going to turn right. So that's where we started, down the left hand side. So that's lap 1 complete, and we're now going to head our way back downhill towards the southern section of the park. So we're still doing quite well at the moment. I'm hoping that you'll see in the footage some chicks that were running around as well. Not as in the female calling a woman a chick, but as in the Easter chick, because there was lots of Easter events going on at the time whilst we were in Norway and Finland, as it was over the Easter week. We are heading our way back up this hill now, struggling our way up this hill. This hill is harder than you think, so over the laps this one gets slowly harder and harder because it's quite a gentle incline. But once you get up to this point here, you're then all downhill from there to the bottom end of the park, and then you have to do the big hill obviously again. But this is the grass section, still not muddy as you can see. It wasn't wet on the day either, which was perfect, but I don't think it would get too boggy in this area if it was raining anyway. And just for information as well, there are another 2 park runs in Oslo if you did want to do them. I think they're both more on grass though, so this is the best one if you want to just take normal road shoes and you want to do hard standing running. This is definitely the best one for that. But we're doing quite well at the moment. It's a time of 7:24. We're doing this U-turn again. There's a chick, actually, I don't know if you saw it on the opposite side of the path just then, running, making their way uphill. But we are heading down now towards the south side. The transport routes are really good as well, which I'll go through at the end for actually getting to the park run, because to be honest, there's no point in driving there. You might as well get the tube metro, which I will go through towards the end, like I said. But we're now heading our way back towards where we started to complete lap number 2 and make our way into lap 3. But if you do enjoy these sort of videos, do make sure to hit that like button down at the bottom, and also don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to see some more of this park run content. We are now heading our way up this hill for the second times. It doesn't get any easier the more times you do it, I have to say. It probably gets a lot harder, but we are pushing our way up. Quads are burning again, calves going, but once we hit that top, we've got a decent time so far. So we've completed almost 2 laps and we're on 9 minutes and 10 seconds, so not too bad. Managed to do a lap in 4.5 minutes. If we keep that up, we should get a pretty good time, but we'll have to see how we get on as we turn right now at the top. There's some volunteers there on the left hand side as well, and there we go, lap 2 complete, heading into lap 3. And also, if you are wondering what the elevation is at all different sections of this run, I do have Strava, and I will leave a link to it down in the description below. So if you go and follow me on there, you can go and check out the elevation on all the park runs, which I do. And we are back to the downhill section. We're doing quite well at the moment. The weather is holding as well, so thankfully for us it didn't rain at all whilst we were here, but I know it has rained the last few ones, so we were quite lucky that it didn't rain, and it wasn't actually too cold either, so it's quite good running conditions for us. So I'm pretty happy with my time so far. Hopefully we can keep this up, because the hilly ones that I find I struggle a lot more with than the flat ones. I know obviously that's going to be the same for everyone, but I don't do enough hilly ones, so I feel like I want to try and do more ones with the extra hills and things like that, just to try and improve my hill training, and then hopefully we'll get better at them and improving our times. Another thing to note, which you may, if you're from the UK, recognise this, but usually you stick to the left-hand side and overtake on the right in the UK. However, in Norway, it is the opposite. It's like the roads in Norway. You're going to keep on the right-hand side, and if you do want to overtake someone, you then veer off to the left. Obviously, you don't always keep to that if there's no one in front of you, and you just keep it to the inside of the bend like usual. But if you do want to let someone pass, do try and keep on the left-hand side, and then on the right-hand side, the people that are going slightly quicker can overtake safely without knocking you over and themselves over. But we're heading up the hill now, 14 minutes into that was, I think, just ever so slightly slower again there on that right-hand side. Someone pushing a buggy up, a buggy up, which is very, very impressive. But we're now going to head off into lap number 4, so we've just passed halfway now. We've done 3 laps so far, 2 more to go, and then we can have a rest and go and explore Norway. You'll also have to let me know down in the comment section below whether you're a fan of lots of laps or just 1 lap or 2 laps, because I definitely prefer the smaller number of laps. However, when I run a 5 lapper or something like this, after the first one you can sort of judge your pace a lot better, whereas if you're doing a 1 lapper or 2 lapper, you don't know what's coming up in front of you unless you've done a good bit of extensive research, which I do quite like to do, to be fair. I watch other people's videos of park runs which I've not done before, and I just check to see where the pinch points are of the run. You'll have to let me in the comments what you prefer. Do you prefer a 5 lapper or a 1 lapper? And there goes the person in first position, flying past us. They're going very quick, to be fair to them. I'm very, very impressed. And you will see there's a lot of different lapping going on, so do make sure to keep, like I said, to that right hand side, because as the laps go on, people in first position start taking over you. I've taken over people that are on their 2nd or 3rd lap as well, so it all gets a little bit messy in terms of positions and things like that, but it's all good. Just make sure if you keep to the right, you're not going to trip the people overtaking you on the left. And this is it, the last time we have to do this hill, thankfully. So you're only doing the hill 4 times because you're actually ending at the bottom on that 5th lap. So that's quite nice to them, that you start at the top and end at the bottom, rather than starting at the bottom and ending at the top, because otherwise you would be knackered. But we are now pushing up this hill, time of 19 minutes. So we're doing each one in about 4.5 minutes. So I can't see us beating our time down at the bottom 5 arches, unless we pick up the pace ever so slightly, but it will be quite close by the looks of it. We're just hitting the top. There's a chick actually on the right hand side which we may take over in a second. But there we go, 19 minutes and 20 seconds. And this is the final lap now. So we're going to try and start picking up the pace because we know from here it is all downhill. And there they are, an Easter chick there on the left-hand side, which we are just taking over now on this uphill section. So this is probably the hardest bit of the end, because my legs were already knackered from just going up the steep hill, and it's the last time we have to go up this gentle incline to the top end where the grass is, and then it is all downhill pretty much from there. There is a little bit of an incline at the end, which you will see in just a moment, but again, it's not too bad. All these inclines aren't too bad at all. Someone again pushing the buggy, unbelievable. Don't know how they do it. But we're back onto this grass section for the last time, and as you can see, it's not really that muddy. You're not going to slip over, so road shoes are fine. You can take trail shoes though too, because the gravel that was on the paths obviously made it a lot more slippier than it usually is. But if without the gravel, it's definitely road shoes will be fine. So here we go into the last push now on 21 minutes and 8 seconds. You may have seen a couple of people running across off to that left-hand side. Don't worry, that is just the public. That's not someone trying to cut a corner or anything. So you also need to keep your eye out for the public. You don't want to be running into them. But it's the final downhill. If I was the guy in front there, I'd be jumping on the back of that buggy and riding it down. You get down a lot quicker probably. We're about to turn right and head into the final sprint finish towards the end. Whilst I was staying in Oslo, I did also record a vlog which will be out in a couple of weeks' time. So if you are thinking, oh, I want to do Tøyen Parkrun, but I don't know what there is to do in Oslo as well, then you can check that out. And that will maybe give you some ideas. But it's our final push now, 23 minutes and 13 seconds. We need to be 23:25 if we want to get onto that leaderboard. But I don't think we are going to be able to do that, unfortunately. But it's still a decent time. So there's the other people turning off that right-hand side. But because it is our last lap, we are going to continue straight forwards now and head our way off to the right up a slight incline here. And the finish line is just there. Can we get it under 23:40? And yes, we can. Time of 23:27 and a position there of 20th. So we did pretty good. I was quite happy with that in the end because it is a difficult one with all the steep hills, and very well done there to the guy on the left hand side with the pram/buggy. Very impressed. And so that is Tøyen Parkrun complete. I think that's our 4th T now, so we've done quite a lot of T's. We need to start trying to get some other letters on the board, but a really enjoyable one. But it's not one for your PB, it's very hilly, and to be honest, if you manage to get your PB on that one, I would be very impressed. And if you are heading over to Oslo on holiday and you want to pick a park run, this is definitely one that I'd recommend doing. It's really easy to get to, really enjoyable park run too, and a friendly bunch of volunteers. So thanks again to all of the volunteers who did take place on the day, because without them, the park run would not actually be able to go ahead. So thank you very much for that. They were really nice and friendly, and all knew how to speak English as well, which is amazing. So it's perfect for all of us tourists going across overseas to try and do their run. I also did enjoy that the park was quite a green park. It was in a nice area as well, so there were lots of friendly people around, and also the weather was perfect on the day. No rain whatsoever, no snow or sleet as well, which is good, and it wasn't too hot, so for me it was perfect running conditions. But as usual, we'll take a quick look through the pinch points. So the first one is obviously going to be how hilly it is. There's quite a steep hill to do every lap, well, 4 of the 5 laps, and also it is a few sort of gradual ups and downs as well, which definitely do slow you down. And then the second one I'd probably say is probably the U-turn. There's the tight bend and all the gravel on the floor, so that makes it a little bit more difficult to come around that final bend. But apart from that, there's not really too many pinch points on the course, which you wouldn't get anywhere else. And finally, let's move into the most important section of the video, where I go through the tips and tricks on how to get there and where to go after you finish the run if you want to grab a post-park run coffee. So start off with public transport, as that is definitely the best way of getting to this run if you're having a trip to Oslo. So they've got a metro, an underground metro, which has the stop at Tøyen Park, which is here. So this stop is about a 5-minute walk then from there to the start. They also have a nearest bus stop being Tøyen Parken, so you can also get the bus Again, very quick and not very far from the start at all. But if you can't get there by any means of public transport, they also do have a little bit of parking, which is very limited around the park, and it's about a 5 to 10 minute walk, but it is also paved there. I'm not too sure how much it is, but I can't imagine it being too much. And then finally, if you are thinking of grabbing a post-park run coffee once the run is finished, every week they all gather at the Handwork Botansk Cafe. I probably completely butchered the name of that cafe, but that can be found here, so definitely go and join everyone else there. And now back to my GoPro stats from the start. All you're going to see is difference of 1 as we increase the number of park runs from 20 to 21, but the best finish position and all of my best times are going to stay the same this week, unfortunately, but that one was quite a difficult and hilly one, so I couldn't see it being one of our best times anyway. So that is it, Tøyen Parkrun complete, and it's our first park run done in Norway as well, adding to our tourist challenge. If you have the 5k app, you'll know what I'm talking about. But if you do have any other tips and tricks as a regular runner or someone that's been before, do make sure to let us know down in that comment section below. But if you're like me and you also enjoy watching loads of these park run videos and you want to go and check out where I did my fastest park run and slowest park run, I have my worldwide park run playlist, which is here. And also you can check out last week's park run, which was at Tewkesbury Park Run, which can be found by clicking on the link here. And as Oslo was our first stop on our Nordic trip, we will actually be in Helsinki next week doing a park run there. So I hope you all enjoyed this one. Do make sure to hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.